Hey, you guys, and welcome to American Culture. So, you know how I told you that this Tuesday is the day, and I want you to hold on to that. There can be no doubt. I hate to break it to you, but that is a thing. If you continue to doubt, that's the energy that cancels it out. So, don't do that. Get delusional. You're already there. You're already not seeing everything the way that it's supposed to. So, get super delusional with yourself. And no, I declare that this is it, that this is what's taking place. It's not a hope, it's not a wish, it's not a dream. This is a knowing. God told me this, and it's time for me to now stand on that 1000%. I'm going to tell you how I got here. So, I have two different family members in my life. I have one, I'm just going to tell you, my mother. And I decided, I took some time off from talking to her for like a year, almost 2 years. Couldn't do it, you guys. You know how it is. And she still sometimes just doesn't know how to show up as mom. And I've been really sick this past week, and I haven't gotten not one single phone call asking me how I'm doing. And I know that she's sitting there waiting on me to pick up the phone and call her. I'm just not. And it suddenly clicked to me, I'm tired of pouring out and not getting anything back. I'm literally exhausted. And when I went through that whole revelation last week of learning that exhaustion is tied to me feeling like I'm in debt, like I owe, suddenly I don't. I'm wealthy, I'm prosperous. I don't owe you, them, life, anything else other than me being what God needs me to be. That's it. And I'm doing that. So, I mean, if I can't get back enough to continue the journey here, it's not meant for me to be here. Like I say, I've kind of learned that even the circumstances that you think are concrete, like a mother-daughter relationship, there are parts of them that are just temporary. Long story short, I explained to my mother, she was like, I don't have full coverage insurance in the car. Oh, well, go ahead and get a quote and I'll pay for it. You think my mom's gotten a quote on the insurance? Absolutely not. I have told her I will come out there and see her. I haven't seen her in years, probably like 4 going on 5 years. I will come out there and I'll do that if you just get the doctor's appointment, because I want to be able to go to the doctor with you. Do you think my mom got a doctor's appointment? Absolutely not. Has she asked me if I'm still coming? Absolutely not, because she's not picking up the phone. And I tell you all this not to bring her character down, because she's just floating through life doing whatever it is that she thinks she's supposed to be doing, like the rest of us. But to show you that on the other side of obedience is you getting what you need. Not just what you want, what you need. You need full coverage. And on the other side of just simply going to get a quote, you would have that. You want to see your kid. You need to. I need to see my mom. On the other side of that, of just getting the doctor's appointment, there I am. But it's not happening. I had another scenario where a person whom I've told I need to be able to have some type of relationship with you. It's very simple. If I call, answer. If I text, reply. And I can't get that from them. I get tapped on the shoulder, because I'm a bank and they're desperate and they should have money for this. And, if I don't give them these hundreds of dollars and I'm the bad guy, and I tell them, you're doing something purposeful. You're doing something, let's just say they paint, right? And you sell a painting and I will double that and I'll give you that money. Because I'm not just going to give you $500 for whatever. It's not happening. That's not how the world works. I became this person. I got to the point of prosperity because I was sick and tired of paying bills. So you need bills to strengthen you to the point to where you say, I'm sick of bills. So I will never come in and undo your financial life. No, you're going to deal with money. It's necessary. With that being said, I have no problem with honoring your faith. Faith without works is death. Faith with works, God doubles that. He prospers that. He makes that bigger. You think I got a single phone call telling me about the things that they've made and the stuff that they sold? No. So, of course, no money is going to get poured out into that direction because, like I said, having reached this point of exhaustion last week, to the point I thought I was going to die, honestly. Having reached this point of exhaustion, I realized that exhaustion was akin or tied to me feeling like I was in debt in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not. I don't owe anybody anything. The only person that I work for is God, and I'm not in debt to him. I'm not a slave to him. I'm an apostle. I'm a disciple. I am here to be used as a vessel for him. I don't owe him for that. I don't. We're good. And so it suddenly clicked to me, when I was in prayer this morning, God started to tell me, Alicia, this is what it's like when you start walking like Christ. You're going to start to see things differently. This is the reason why, even though it seems like a situation is permanent, as much as a mother and daughter, you're going to realize that there are temporary things that you have to be able to work your way through. You're getting to see what it's like when people just aren't obedient, when they just don't do it. Like I said, on the other side of simply getting an insurance quote is full coverage insurance. On the other side of simply letting me know, hey, I sold something for $10, there's 20. That's a guarantee. I'm not going to not do that. I have integrity, honesty, all that good stuff. It's happening. But you refuse to be obedient. For whatever reason, you stack all of these things in front of it. It's like what I was telling you, I think it was yesterday, a former friend, I didn't tell you about the conversation I had with them, but it was just, I know that you're thinking about sending me a message. Why don't you do that? You have all the opportunities. It's there, but they just won't. They won't take that opportunity because of them being upset about something that happened weeks, months, however long ago that they didn't discuss, that they kept down and decided I was a terrible person, all this other stuff. You know how people are when they're living in the world. And right now, God has given me the opportunity to finally stop and realize that I have poured so much out. It has literally exhausted me to the point to where I thought I was going to die. I should have never stayed outside that long with that guy. I should have never, that kid, I should have never went to work on Monday, because I already wasn't feeling like it. And perhaps I wouldn't have gotten sexually assaulted by having an old man grab my boob. I just kept going through the exhaustion like I had a debt to pay. And I realized that I don't. And God said to me, he said, here's the thing. The reason why I don't want you to call your mother, the reason why I don't want you to text that other family member is because if you keep pouring out, it doesn't matter what I pour in. It's going to go out too. At a certain point, the pouring out has to stop, you guys. It has to stop, whether people like that or not. And you have to take your rest. And after that rest is when God starts to pour into you. Then you can start pouring out again. Because like I said, there needed to be a system reset. You needed to go to a new operating system. He's saying, I need you to be completely emptied of you. Completely emptied of trying to show up as that person who satisfies those people. And take that rest, which is the plug. Even God rested on the seventh day when he was done. Resting is an acknowledgement that I'm done here. And then God will start to pour back into you. And so I want you to do that today. I want you to declare, I'm done being exhausted. I do not owe life because I showed up here. Okay? I don't. There's no relationship I owe. I don't. If you need to work on forgiveness, that's a different story for another day. But for the sake of this video, there's no relationship that you owe. You're exhausted. You're empty. Plug. I almost said that shit. Well, here I am. Plug that up, you guys. And you will see God pour into you the new ideas. Like for me, I told you, he's requiring that I show up Tuesday as an author. But I don't know what that means. Don't care. But I do know that that's what's happening. And so for you, he's told you some things. Be obedient to this. Be obedient to this hunch. Be obedient to this nudge. And I'll be there on the 9th. I promise you that. In grand fashion. I want you to move along just as much as you do. And it's up to you to finally believe that. So today's challenge is, I guess, to find in your life where you've been pouring out unnecessarily, when you've been giving way more than anybody has bothered to pour back into you. Because yeah, you should get phone calls. You should get text messages. People should ask you how you're doing. It shouldn't always be, you being judged based off of the relationship you give to somebody else when they don't even show up to try to give you one in return. It shouldn't be. That's not how this works. And like I said, especially like with my mother, there becomes this obedient blockage. Like you literally will dam up your own flow because you have so many things that you need to be obedient to that you just won't. And most of the time, God's not asking you to, again, when it comes to obedience, he's not really asking you to give much. He's not, a lot of times, he's not asking you to go without food or not pay this bill or whatever. And a lot of people, they think that he's just asking you to do something you have all the capability to do. That's what he's not making it hard on you. You're making it hard on you. So I had to come to realize that I had poured out. I am empty. I am plugged. I am receiving God's good graces because whatever he was going to pour into me was just going to get mixed with a whole bunch of nonsense. I would never be able, and it's true, I would never be able to taste and see. I would never be. That's why he says that. Oh my God, I'm having a revelation right now. That's where taste and see comes from, that the Lord is good. Because he's like, if I was pouring into that old wine that you had, you would never be able to taste the difference. The stagnancy of what you were constantly creating was going to dilute the new taste and the flavor of what God was pouring into you. So it needs to be a new vessel. It needs to be completely emptied out so that when you get poured into, you can actually taste that of being something that God gave you. And then you will start to see the vision and all that other stuff come to play. Like I'm channeling this right now, you guys. Like, so literally this is a true thing that's happening. He said in the pouring out season, we're done with that. You're exhausted, and allow yourself to be poured into by the higher source. Everything that you had in you before this point is given to you by the world. And it was so dang bitter. It didn't matter how much sugar you put into it. It was like if you're piling more bitterness into it with those negative reactions that you keep on having, it's going to completely overwhelm the sweetness of God. And you're never going to be able to see what he's doing. So yeah, this is the best point for you right now to completely empty out, which you already are. You're exhausted. Take the little rest, which I did yesterday and today. And then allow yourself to receive. I think tomorrow, a lot of us are going to receive something pretty substantial that lets us know, yeah, you're doing it. Myself included. I claim that for me, baby. Yeah, I claim the substantial input that God is going to give me now that I declare and see where I'm at, which is I am empty and ready to be poured into. Have a blessed day, you guys.